Hello and welcome to my video blog. I bought a 2005 Dodge Neon out of necessity, needed some work on it, so I'm going to start just documenting and reporting on here what's going on with that. I have a 2008 F-150 crank no start. I'll be troubleshooting that too. So hope you enjoy. I'll show you now the 2005 Dodge Neon. It's in fairly good shape for a 2005. I've already replaced tie rod ends and stuff and kind of got started late on this. But right now I'm having an issue where the battery keeps coming disconnected, and I believe that is my issue. It doesn't tighten up all the way. So I will be changing it. Now, I bought this at AutoZone. It's a terminal in connector and should work. Should be able to change that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the negative side of the battery, and then I'll disconnect the positive, and then the bolts that hold the lug on, I will take those off and I'll put the new lugs on. This is a 10mm nut on here. So take that loose and pull that off. And this one, I have to hold it in place to loosen it. At least try to. It's not doing it. But you see how loose it is. I was able to just pull it straight off. And this is also 10mm. So break that loose. Pull this off. I will have to reset the clock on my radio, but that's okay. It's better to have the car running than not running when you need it. But you can see that just comes right off. And this one should be a 12mm. I'm hoping. And it is. And it's quite a bit tighter. There it goes. Had to put some real force on that. So I'll pull this off. And now my old terminal lugs are off. Both my two new lugs are actually 12mm for this lug that goes on the back. So put that on, put the washer on, put the nut on, and we'll tighten it up. It was square, so I'm trying to keep it square. And set that out of the way somehow. There. Now go to the other one and basically do the same thing. I believe this is called terminal on top. Okay. Okay, the new lug here did not have a big enough hole. So I put a towel down to catch the shavings. I used a step drill bit, and I made the hole a little bit bigger, being careful not to drill into the battery. And I used channel locks to hold on to it, because if you hold on to the stuff like that with your hands, sometimes it'll catch and it'll cut you and stuff. So if you have to do something like that, you got to be careful. Okay, I took a wire brush and I cleaned up my terminal ends and all that stuff. Just be careful. You don't want to do too much to the wiring. But wanted to clean it up so I get a good all contact. The dust and debris, because I got these new connectors and I want it to be nice, look nice, function well. So now I'm going to put this on. Like I said, washer, nut, You want to thread that all the way on as far as you can by hand. Make sure you don't cross thread nothing. And it's easier than using the wrench. So now we'll tighten it. Snug. Go back and revisit this one, make sure we're nice and snug. We are. Now put the plastic piece over. Try not to get these things to touch at the same time like that. Okay, I'm gonna put this one back behind here, and I'm going to, I guess I'm gonna have to loosen that one. It should be a 10mm. Now it's finger tight anyway. So we're gonna spread that out a little bit and try to get that on there. So what I ended up doing is taking the bolt all the way out so that I could spread it out and get it over the terminal. Then I'm gonna pull it back together with my pliers here. That way, hopefully the bolt will thread in now. It does. And I'll put this on. Whoop. And the bolt has a step on it, so the step was towards the inside and not towards the outside. So I'll start threading this on here, making sure it's fully seated. And now I will attempt to get it fairly straight and pull this in where I can get my wrench on it. Don't want to over tighten these, but I want to tighten it up enough I don't have to worry about disconnects like I was. And mostly what my problem was is it was very corroded. But I'm going to take this down to where I got some threads coming through, and then I'm going to stop. I got about one thread coming through. A couple threads. I like to go around 3. That's good enough. Now I can pull the negative one up, hopefully. If I have the same issue, I'll do the same thing so that I get a good contact, but I don't have that issue on this side. Okay, I'm back. I just discovered something new. The negative terminal is just a little bit smaller, so I had to swap them back and forth. But I tightened these up, got it where I wanted, put this one on, got it where I wanted. My clip in here that goes around the terminal lug, it's old, it's brittle, it snapped off. Maybe down the road I'll get a new one, but for now I just put my cover on and it'll just kind of set loosely on there. So that's what I got on that. And you can see the old one's extremely corroded, and whenever you turn the bolt it would try to twist and it was going to break anyway. But now my terminal lugs are nice and tight. I didn't over tighten. You just want to get them where they don't spin on their own. And next we'll see. So I also want to tell you, this is just a Duralast, numbers down here in the corner, AZ1290CS. Hopefully it'll focus and let you read it. They're just generic connectors because you can't really get a specific connector unless maybe you go to a junkyard or something. But now I'm going to attempt to start the car and make sure everything is good. I know the connectors are tight now, so here we go. And it fired right up, so we're all good there. So that job's complete. Thanks for watching. Add as a side note, I don't really name cars, but this car's name is Lana. The person I got it off of had named it. So Lana has been getting a lot of stuff done to her, and this is just one more of those things. Later we'll be doing the brakes. Well, I've already done the front brakes and the tie rods. We'll have to get an alignment on it. I got it pretty close, but it still needs aligned. But I want to do the back brakes before I take it for an alignment. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, maybe learned a little. It's a little bit of a struggle sometimes when you're trying to figure out, you know, you get the parts and the one was too big, and I had no idea. I vaguely remember that battery terminals are a different size, so I had to check it out, and that was the case. So whenever you're doing something and something doesn't seem quite right, take a look at it and see if you can figure out, maybe you got left and right backwards. I've known people who put calipers on the cylinders and got them upside down. You can't bleed them, so you have to swap them because air rises and you can't have your bleeders pointing down. So just wanted to share that with you. Fixing the cars can be challenging sometimes, but usually it's pretty easy. So thanks for watching. Bye.